Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this narration of the web series The Nature of Predators. If you are new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 107. Memory Transcription Subject, Chief Hunter Isif, Arxor Dominion Sector Fleet. Date, Standardized Human Time, December 12th, 2136. A diplomatic resolution to the Battle of Silas didn't solve all of my problems. Regaining organization, as well as finding places to pull the fleet without infrastructure, mandated a bit of time. Bringing Prophet Descendant Giznold into the loop was also a priority. The last thing I wanted was betterment breathing down my neck. The leader was chagrined by my unorthodox approach to disposing of Shazar. With hostilities terminated and internal orders dispensed, I found an opportunity to slip away. The nearest airdrop location was a human module on a border of Yodel space, inside what was once Shazar's sector. Nerves had gotten to me, since this was my first engagement with espionage. What was General Jones going to do with the information? Would humanity's actions reveal me as the source? Against my better judgment, I'd booted up a call with Falra during my travels. The doser seemed intrigued by my days-long absence from messaging service, which I excused as opposition from the UN military to a business proposal. It was technically true. Our discourse had stretched into the late hours of the night when she was forced to depart for a few winks. Rest wasn't a terrible idea, though my own sleep was broken. Farah couldn't call during her shift as a mechanical inspector, though she texted the majority of the time. She was close to finishing her day's work and was eager to hop on a call afterwards. I warned her that I had important matters to attend to soon. My ship had Jones's outpost in sight. However, as usual, the doser was unfazed by my excuses and unrelenting in her demands.
"You know, I don't usually respond this slow, Siffy," Farah texted. "We have been swamped with Silas ships docking for repairs. I saw a real live humans at work today, many of them by sneaking a peek at the quarantine lodgings. You guys are gigantic."
I snorted to myself. The doser was never short with the unsolicited details about her day-to-day activities. If she thought that humans were massive, the Oxal's size would astound her. Despite our slouching posture, we could loom over the primates if we so desired. It mystified me how the Federation could compare us and the Terrans, and see predatory features in tree dwellers. "Well, I suppose you should be working, not on here chatting," I answered back. "Don't get into trouble on my account." The doser typed back furiously, for
"Crying out loud, Siffy. Show a little curiosity. Ask some questions if you're interested in what I'm saying at all."
"Fine. Did seeing the humans scare you, Farah?"
"Yes, sir. Please don't be mad at me. I'm just being honest. I didn't tell you this, but I've watched a lot of human media since I paired with you here. Your comedies are hysterical and outlandish for one."
"You only watched comedies?"
"I watched the first human to appear on a Venel talk show. Some actor. He played off what the host was saying without hesitation, read discomfort with ease, and made fun of himself. So natural, conversational, and charismatic. So unlike you."
My paw nearly dropped the holopad, and I considered switching it off. Of course, I was nothing like the charming primates, with their smooth sociability and their empathetic capacity. I would be lucky to call myself a shallow echo of their personal depth. Perhaps it would have been possible for me to be a better Oxor, but the deeds I'd committed had hollowed out my defective side. Had Farah figured out that I wasn't a human at all? No. She had ascertained that her internet friend was an Oxor. She would have cut contact. The doser was getting close to the truth, so I needed to deflect her attention. "I do not want to talk about me," I sent back.
"You never want to talk about you. You won't tell me one thing that's real about you, or one thing that's not wrapped in mystery. It's like you think if you're genuine, you're going to scare me off. Just because I'm small doesn't mean that I'm a damn coward."
"I don't think that, Farah, but I would scare you off. It is a fact. You said humans you saw or workers scared you."
"I kept looking, though. What absolute goofballs. The way they razzed each other was so juvenile. The more I looked, the more I thought you're overgrown children. But not you."
"I'm not like them."
"Answer me an honest question. Do you have predator disease? Don't take it the wrong way. I thought there were harmless strains of predator disease, which isn't exactly a popular idea here."
"Define predator disease."
"You know, antisocial, violent, non-compliant, non-conformist, lacking a full range of emotions, or delusional. Some combo of those.
Those are unrelated attributes. You can call me nonconformist and leave it at that.
Okay, Siffy. I'm not judging you. I just want to get to know you. I want to understand you.
You cannot do either of those things. Don't you get it? I am not a good person, Farah. I've thought about little but my own survival for decades. I'm not prepared to interact with people like you, or to censor myself as humans do.
I don't want you to censor yourself. I think that you are deeply unhappy and troubled. You don't deserve to be alone. Just open up to me, man.
Ah, shit. Let me guess. Now you'll say that you have to go. I do. Guess you know me after all. Goodbye.
The way Farah peeled back my emotional layers and hounded me for personal insights left my defective side in a full-blown mutiny. I'd gotten too damn close to confessing the actual things I'd buried. Speaking with the pesky doser was always a mistake, yet I kept doing it. What good would babbling about my feelings do other than let misery overtake me? It wasn't like I could detail my life's work and the reasons why I acted this way to her. The rote actions of piloting the ship distracted me from the messaging banners accumulating on my holopad. It buzzed with an incoming call, and I descended towards the minimalist human station. Growling to myself, I took to the device and shoved it back into the drawer. If I had any courage befitting an Oxel, I would have deleted that silly rodent's contact info. No, I removed the entire SwiftPair application. Just take this stupid communique and upload it to the blasted human's computer network, and Oxel's future is relying on you while you spend time caring about a random prey you just met. I jerked upright as I realized which thought had crossed my mind. Caring about Farah was an unacceptable indulgence. That was the exact reason why leaf-licking races made illogical decisions for the preservation of one individual. Oftentimes, caring about another managed to get people killed or cause grave detriment to their own lives. It was foolish weakness, and there weren't even social benefits in my case. Docking was completed just outside the dead drop site's sole entry. As I disembarked my ship, I was livid with myself. My claws swiped through the empty air, and my temper boiled inside of me. The fact was, even if I envied the humans' illogical morality and society, I was not one of their kind. Their weakness needed to be purged at once, before it ruined me. Hecking Tava, with those stupid ideas, I really need a friend, I ranted to myself. The airlock hissed open at my arrival, granting me access to the one-room space station. I'd stormed through the docking tunnel in a haze, and I couldn't wait to return to my ship. The point of my operation was to end the cruelty and starvation of my people. Revealing Gisnell's plot was a way to up the ante. It could stoke the flames of open rebellion. The data drive in my grasp felt heavy from its importance. A green light flashed on a wall camera, likely activated by a motion sensor. I leaned closer to the computer display, tracing a claw across it. There were multiple ports, but I needed to find one tailored for my specific hardware. Perhaps General Jones or one of her henchmen had the sense to leave accessible instructions. Wait, did humans even know Oxel script? The lone computer monitor blinked to life, and I wondered if it was triggered by my presence as well. My pupils lit up, seeing the feed of General Jones's face on my screen. It was possible that this was pre-recorded message with instructions, which would be an efficient decision. However, the primate's eyes seemed to be following my movements. "Is this live?" I queried. The human dipped her head, dust-colored bowls cut waving slightly. "Yes, Isiv, this is a real-time communications feed." "The point of a dead drop is to have no contact with you, yes?" "You are correct. Don't consider this standard practice for our discussions, but I needed to speak with you. The motion sensors tipped me off to your arrival. Thank you for coming, by the way. Oh, and before you ask, this is a secure and private feed." "Noted, General. I had nothing to do with the captured humans on Celis." "But you had everything to do with Chief Hunter Shazar arriving in multiple pieces dead, and not answering any questions. Zhao wants intel, not a pair of homemade oxel skin boots." I suppressed a laugh, somehow managing to keep a straight face. The liberated Terrans had done as expected, exacting their revenge on the cruel Oxel. It was a fitting end for her. After the gruesome death she'd given to a sapient predator, I had been looking forward to executing her myself. Outsourcing the work tempered the pleasure, though the outcome was still satisfactory. "How could I possibly have known that humans would kill their own prisoner?" I asked, baring my teeth. "I sent her with Zal's people, just as you asked. This seems like the problem is on you." Jones narrowed her eyes. If you knew exactly what would happen.
Ah, if this is what you needed to speak to me about, perhaps I have nothing to share with you after all.
It's not. I'm just warning you not to play games with me in the future. There's bigger things at stake than your personal vendettas.
Consider it your payment to me for helping you, yes? Shazar called me elderly. She's also a cannibal who interrupted my sector.
I'm aware of her history, but her insights would have been valuable to the United Nations. If you want to overthrow the Dominion long-term, sacrifices must be made. With that said, I would love for you to brief me on what you came here to share.
Gisnil told me the Orcs unleashed the virus on our own cattle. Betterment purposefully imposes strategies that prevent the Dominion from recouping enough prey to feed us, whether through raiding or breeding. Therefore, I doubt my government would have any interest in lab-grown meat and non-sapient cattle. The human was quiet for a long moment, biting her lower lip. Intelligence gleamed in her binocular eyes, which studied me with interest. General Jones leaned forward to the camera and offered an unerving smile at last. There wasn't the slightest element of surprise in her expression or any sort of reaction like I had expected. Did anything throw the military guru off her game? I surmised as such, Jones sighed. There's no logical explanation for the Oxos raiding policies, shooting yourself in the foot. You deduced a centuries-long conspiracy from our military doctrine being, illogical. It's like she's trying to make me feel stupid for not seeing it sooner. That just proves that we're destructive. Drawing far-fetched conclusions is illogical.
Well, also, the Colchians specialize in gene editing, but they bomb predators instead of saving them. They don't need the cattle virus when they can, and do use antimatter to ruin ecosystems.
I see. I guess I have wasted my time in bringing it to you.
There's no need for pouting. Confirmation is always valuable information, and specifics are also key to proving it. It's nice to have actual intelligence in my back pocket. Should I pass this up the food chain?
You mean when you appraise Zhao of this development and give him more reason to believe that we are all animals?
Your empathy test surprised him, Isif, and has caused him to reconsider your motives. Regardless, I'm not here to rehash this old feud, or even to lecture you on Shazar. There are concerning war developments as of late.
My nostrils flared with interest. Go on, Jones. Another attack on Earth and you want my help?
Bah. We wouldn't ask for your help in that circumstance unless we were truly desperate. The Colchians are gunning for our allies, to the point that they assaulted every last one of them in a trial run. We figured out of their true target, and they already have thousands of ships ready to bury it or seize it. It's hard to say.
I don't understand why you're telling me this. Vendel Prime isn't under my protection, other than my pledge not to attack it. If my people knew I was on amicable terms with...
The main target isn't Vendel Prime. It's Maloo, the Dosa homeworld.
My heart plummeted into my chest, thinking about Farah's attempts to befriend me. She was a bold character, unabashed in her opinions and curious about predators. I just admitted to myself that I cared about the rodent, and now her homeworld was under attack. It didn't make sense why the Terran general would inform me about Maloo's pending attack, unless she expected me to help. I knew Jones was spying on me, but this is a cheap trick, even for her. So the Federation wants to take back what they've lost. Indignation sparked my chest as I weighed this manipulation attempt. And why would you think that I care about the Dosa homeworld? The human shrugged. It's a Federation objective in your sector. Bringing Oxal ships to their aid would prevent the Colchians from branching out to the galaxy's fringes. You are the one playing games with me. They're your allies, not mine. Send human assets to save the Dosa, since you seem keenly aware of their plight.
I wish we could. Maloo is 2 days' travel from Earth. Our assets cannot reach it in time. The Colchians had their ships en route and waiting. But you have forces there. You yourself are half a day from it and could get there in time.
You are fucking insane. What would the Dosa even think of my arrival?
I suspect one in particular is whose thoughts you care about. I'm giving you information. What you choose to do with it is your own prerogative. You would be equally upset with me if something happened to your friend and I didn't tell you.
You admit...
Farewell, Isif. Stay in touch. General Jones had the audacity to hang up on me, and I punched the computer screen out of frustration. The glass cracked against my hardy paw, sending sparks flying. My tail lashed with outrage. I stalked out of the habitat in an emotional frenzy. My feet steered me back onto my ship with more urgency than I could admit. I fished out a holopad and determined that I had to warn Farah of the inbound attack. Perhaps
she could get out of Malu's system and survive, without military interference. The doser ignored my call attempts, and her avatar had gone offline. I checked the chat logs in a panic, reading her final message.
Hey, Siffy. The humans that docked here just received warning of an incoming attack from the Kolshians. There's not many of you, and their ships are here for repairs. It's not good. Evacuation ships were apparently considered, but the first few were sent out, didn't get very far. The Kolshians have FTL disruptors, and they're not letting anyone slip away. The humans advised us to shelter in place in a docking station. I'm scared. Please talk to me, Siffy, please. I'm so scared. I'm sorry for prying earlier. I really need you now. Tell me it's going to be okay. I don't have much time. They're going for our communications first. If I don't make it out of here I want you to know that I've enjoyed our chats. Every weird, reclusive moment. I stared at the last message in mute horror, and an odd burning plagued my eyes. A strange sorrow clamped at my chest, one which I could not bury. It was a sad commentary that an internet friend, an herbivore I'd known for a few weeks, marked the closest I'd ever felt to someone. And I just cautioned myself about the illogical, harmful actions that attachment caused. My defective side clamored for me to act on General Jones' imperative. Perhaps I would have considered the idea even without the human's input, just hearing Falra plead for my presence. The doser was the first person to care about me, even though she'd hate me once she knew the truth. Leaving her to die when I was the sole party who could help wasn't an option. With a shaking paw, I booted up my internal communications. The communique to send a full fleet to Malu and to treat the doser as protected friendlies was dispatched before I could rethink it. My engines revved to life, and I set my warp course for Farah's system. Reason be damned, this foolish chief hunter was coming to his friend's aid in a hurry. End of chapter. I would quickly like to thank our Tier 5 patrons, Dragzoon W.R.E., Quantum Wednesday, Ambrose Cattell, Lord Ashrakal, Bushmaster 177, Casper Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, and Arcadian. Thank you very much.